Monday drawing day. And today it was actually a super fantastic day. I really loved it. As I told you, I love Mondays. Also, I felt really regenerated by a super nice weekend because I spent the weekend at home painting, and you probably think I'm crazy. I'm every day, all day at the academy, and then I spend my days painting during the weekends, and honestly, I enjoyed it so much because it didn't happen to me very often to be able to do that because, I do always so many things during the weekend, but I don't have time to paint by myself. So it was probably the first weekend that I spent the entire weekend painting at home on my own without anyone's guidance, without any specific exercise that someone gave me to do. So it was so much fun. I really loved it. I feel regenerated by this weekend. I was super pumped for this week. I was super pumped for today. And as I was saying, today was an amazing day, especially because for the first time, we did a really long pose. It was a pose that lasted the whole day, at least when the model was there and he was not doing the quick poses for the quick sketches. So in total, it was a 1 hour and 35 minutes pose, and it was the longest pose that I did at the academy yet. And obviously you have so much more time to do things. Clearly it's my best drawing yet, but because I never had so much time to spend on a drawing, to spend perfectioning it and to put in so many details and so on. So I'm happy with the result, but time helped a lot. Also, when you go around Instagram or YouTube and you see those amazing academic drawings that look like a black and white picture, well, that's probably because they have like 4 weeks, 5 weeks poses. I'm not even kidding. That's how it works in many academies. So since I came to the academy, I have always been super curious to try such a long pose. And today was actually the day. So not the 5 weeks pose, but the whole day pose. And that was interesting to have. My academy privileges the more expressive kind of drawing, not the photocopy or the photograph of a pose. So that's why we don't do that. But I still think it was super, super useful to know which kind of approach to use with this kind of poses. I really enjoyed it and I want to do more of this. Let's see if we're gonna do them. Then in the evening, we practice portrait, and it's something that I really love. We don't do that enough, unfortunately, because when the model is not there, we usually do either master copies or we draw from casts. It's rare that we practice ourselves. And in fact, a student, Sandrina, she decided to pose for us, and we had a 45 minutes pose with her, where I had the chance to draw her. By the way, she's also an amazing painter. Yeah, what I was saying is that I would really love to practice portraits more. It's something that I really enjoy. I think I'm actually gonna practice portrait painting on Thursday. Let's see if this is gonna happen, but I'm gonna try something different on Thursday, so I'll keep you updated on that. Tuesday drawing day. Well, I don't really know how to describe this Tuesday, honestly. Maybe I should just record a vlog tomorrow with a fresh mind. But basically today there wasn't the main teacher, Nicola Verlato. This morning and this afternoon he was substituted by Giotto, fortunately. And this morning we practiced perspective, which was something that I never properly done at the academy. And we practiced particularly perspective on 2 focal points. And it was super interesting. Maybe I finally understood perspective. I hope I'll be able to put that in practice. And actually Giotto made a drawing with a 5 focal points perspective. It was super interesting. It was a fisheye. It was, I think, his first time trying, and look at the result. It's great. Then there was a beautiful model and I really loved drawing her. Then in the afternoon I drew the model, and then I didn't do much else, honestly, because I was super tired and I couldn't bring myself to do anything. I was a little bit distracted. But from 4:30 we had the anatomy seminar. It was particularly useful because we looked again at the back muscles, but this time we looked at it with the help of the model who was there, fortunately. And I think I probably understood how to draw the anatomical parts and how anatomy is useful for that, because honestly, when you study the back muscles, which is one of the most difficult parts for drawing at least, you study so many muscles, but sometimes you don't see anything because people have just a flat back, maybe not too muscly and so on. But today I finally understood what I need to look at and how to place the most interesting points that I'm supposed to. I think that studying anatomy in this way, looking at the model, trying to redraw it and asking someone to guide you through that is really, really helpful. Having the model that was a game changer, honestly. And then the evening class, which put me in a very bad mood, and that's why I wanted to record the vlog tomorrow, but I've never done it and I'm not gonna do it today either. I just don't want this mood to influence the storytelling of the rest of the day, which I hope I didn't. But basically, Giotto couldn't be there to substitute for the evening session, so he was substituted by a teacher that we never had before, or at least I never had before in the class. And honestly, the session was awful. The teacher wasn't briefed around the methods that we used. He wasn't briefed on how we work. He had a very aggressive attitude as well, which wasn't pleasant at all, and I could feel people had anxiety. And actually, most of the people just went away after 8, which was the time when the model normally leaves. And there were just a few people left in the class. I left half an hour earlier before the end of the session, and there were only 2 people left there, and they were about to go away as well. So I find that depressing. I really hope that was an exception just to substitute Nicola Verlato, who could not be there today. But honestly, if this happens more often, I wouldn't be willing to go as much as I did before. The approach wasn't good to the students and I really didn't like it. So I feel like I had to say that because sometimes there are good days and bad days. There are good teachers and bad teachers, and today I didn't like it. Wednesday, painting day. I thought that today was gonna be a drawing day, and I'm gonna tell you why. So first of all, the day has been a roller coaster of emotions. It's been more and more like that lately. You know, I'm still getting used to all the change that has been at the academy. I cannot say I still fully recovered. It's still difficult, I must admit, because, you know, when you get really close to some teachers, it's not easy to change, especially because doing art is like really exploring your inner self. And especially if you manage to find a mentor that really follows you, that really wants to understand you and wants to guide you, it becomes a sort of psychologist basically. And changing that is not easy. Changing that, changing methods, changing everything. So I'm still digesting all the change and I'm still recovering from that. So it's taking time. Today, I wasn't in my best mood because of yesterday probably, and in the morning I couldn't draw the model at all. I wasn't getting the right proportions, the drawing wasn't good for how I wanted it, and my most perfectionist self came out, and I really wanted the drawing to be good, especially because with the new method that we are adopting, we really need to have a solid drawing behind the painting that we do, and that's why I really wanted to put an effort in it. However, at 12, I deleted my whole drawing for the 3rd time or something like that, I think. I restarted it. So in that moment, I was like, okay, no problem. Today, I'm only gonna draw. I'm not gonna paint. I'm fine with it. And I came to terms with it. So I moved position, I changed my point of view on the model, and I restarted drawing. And actually, accidentally, the drawing started coming out. I was starting getting happy with it, and also my mood just changed. By 2:30, with the lunch break in the middle as well, I actually completed the drawing. So I decided I was actually gonna paint. I feel so crazy, guys. Like, literally, I haven't been like this ever. And now I'm really understanding why artists get crazy at some point, because like I honestly feel so crazy at the moment. Anyway, what I was saying is that I decided to paint. I painted with the new method, obviously, and I wasn't satisfied with the result, but I needed to leave the academy because I had stuff to do, so I rushed through the painting, and the result isn't how I wanted it. However, if I need to think about a positive thing about today is that I painted, which I didn't think I was gonna do at some point of the day. I drew a lot, and it wasn't perfect today. It's gonna be perfect another day, and after all, it's only the first few times that I'm painting with this method, so it's fine. fine. I should be kind with myself, and sometimes I forget it. And especially since we changed methods and I feel like I don't have enough time to learn everything, I've been harder on myself and I should go easier. I shouldn't rush in through anything, and what I will be learning, I will learn it with a good pace and I'm gonna learn it well. So this is me convincing myself. Yeah, so let's see tomorrow with painting. I'm gonna do something different from today, but I'm gonna tell you about it tomorrow. Thursday, painting day. Guys, I told you I'm a roller coaster of emotions, so please bear with me. Today was a good day. I spent this morning finishing a painting that I started last week, and if I normally don't finish the paintings that I just leave unfinished, I did this week because, as you know, I'm experimenting this new method in painting, and next week they're gonna show us how to put color in it. So in fact, this painting was an underpainting actually, so I took my time to finish that, and I'm really curious to see how to put color in this way instead of alla prima way. I think it's gonna be super useful. Then in the afternoon I asked Giotto if I could paint more with his style, let's say. Talking about this, every serious academy has different teachers who paint different styles as well, and normally when you learn with different teachers you would learn different techniques, so I don't see why I wouldn't be able to make the most of the opportunity of having Giotto there, who to me is an amazing artist and is actually closer to the style that I want to develop rather than the other new method, let's say, that we are doing. I still think that knowing both is really useful because they might be useful for different purposes, and I don't know, maybe I will see that I will enjoy the other method more once I learn it. But aesthetically, I really love the way Giotto paints and his kind of style, so I really want to seize the opportunity of having him there and painting with color and alla prima. So in the afternoon I started the underpainting of the model through his method, and I made the underpainting in the afternoon, and then in the evening I started putting colors alla prima. Actually the result was so awful. I also forgot to take the video of it, and I promise you I forgot. I'm not showing on purpose. Actually, I hope I remember. I will show you in the next video. However, I'm not in a bad mood because of that, because it was a good chance to try in color. As you might remember, it's only my second time trying colors for real, so I think it's good practice. I think I need to practice that, and even though I'm not happy with the result, it's my second time, so I'm probably gonna be happier next time, and better than yesterday was than tomorrow. That's the philosophy I want to take today, because I'm in a good mood, so I hope to stay like that. The week is not over because tomorrow we're gonna have the museum, so stay tuned. Friday at the museum. This Friday we were at Pinacoteca di Brera, which is, I think, the most famous museum in Milan. If you come to Milan, go there because it's an amazing one. They have a lot of famous works of art. We were with a professor who specialized in restoration of works of art. It was really interesting because we focused on works of art restoration mainly. We also talked about the history of some paintings and so on, but I think that was the most peculiar part, I would say. So for example, in a painting we would see how restoration changed the painting, because you could clearly see some spots that were different than others, and that was clearly not intentional by the artist, but it was caused by time and how it was restored. Then we saw how some colors were treated and how were changed through restoration. And also, for example, we saw that by using certain pigments, with time they changed. So for example, to do a certain kind of green, they used some copper, which with oxidation it became green, and by putting it on a canvas and with time it turned to brown. So you could see that some Madonnas had brown gowns, and behind them there was brown trees, and actually looking around the room there were many paintings that looked like we were in fall time, but it was actually because the green they used and the green they wanted to put was made with this kind of copper, which not even with restoration was brought back to its origins. So that was super interesting, something that I've never noticed before. It'd be nice to learn more in depth. So with today we arrived at the end of the week. As you might have understood by now, the week has been full of ups and downs. and full of mood swings. You know, although in the first few weeks I was talking to you about emotional roller coaster, I meant more in artistic terms, in terms of frustration with paint and so on, but was always like very positive mood-wise. While this week was full of ups and downs in terms of mood. So there were some days when I started very positive and then I came home really depressed kind of, and some days when I was happy. Yeah, it's very weird because I've always thought I was a balanced person, but this week was really peculiar on this side because I definitely did not have my usual balance, but I guess this is part of a balanced life, no? So yeah, that's how the week went, and I think it's gonna go a little bit like this maybe for a while, because although I always start the week with very positive intentions, at the end the academy is going through a peculiar period, and this is also impacting on how the days go through. So until the things are gonna be stable, I think this is gonna impact my days because I spend there most of my days, and obviously I feel everything that's happening there, which is also what's interesting about this journey that I'm taking. And at the end of the day, I still feel super lucky to do such an experience. I know that not everybody can do it. Yeah, I really want to enjoy it for myself, for my future self, and for you all guys. I hope to pass you all my energy, all my passion, because this is why I want to do these vlogs for, but also tell you all these things honestly, because at the end it's a journey and not everything can be super positive and super linear. So I think that's also what's interesting about it, and I hope that you can understand this. So don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, and I'll see you next week. Bye!